So today's sportsmanship video is geared more towards parents than it is the kids, but basically most of the stuff besides practices are going to be basically about the same for both of them. So both could take a little bit of pieces from both. Uh, at the home interactions, um, for parents, don't deter them by being overbearing with them. They're for the most part they're there for fun. They want to be able to enjoy to it. So the more you push them during practice or to practice outside of the regular practice times, just let them do their thing. The biggest thing is we only see the student athletes about an hour half per day, hour and a half, somewhere around there, and it's even less for most club sports. So they're going to have to practice on their own at some point. And when you're watching them at home, please be aware that you be patient with them. They're not going to be pros overnight. They're just getting there to get the extra work. So if you had any questions for the coaches at all, you weren't really sure what they were trying to be doing, what they're supposed to be accomplishing, ask. Uh, most coaches are going to be very close to the phone. They're going to want to answer some questions. So the more that you work with the coaches, the better the athlete's going to be. And then interaction with the parents and kids outside of the sport. This is probably one of the bigger things that's going to teach your kids sportsmanship. Is that when you're not being overbearing, you're interacting well with the other kids, you're getting along with the other kids, you're getting along with the other parents. That usually leads to less conflicts during practices and games, and that's where the kids are really going to be watching you and going to pick up things that you're doing. So just be aware of that, especially outside of sports, because everyone tries to be nice at practice and games, but when they're outside, it can get a little hostile sometimes. So make sure we're being aware about that. During practices, uh, please try to refrain from interacting with the kids during practice. This is interaction with the coaches as well. Why this is so bad with sportsmanship is it just sends a bad message to the kids. They don't want to respond very well. They see the parent second guessing the coach. That's going to start saying that it's okay for them to give attitude to the coach, except for the really young ones. High school and up might get away from that for a little bit because they understand for the most part. Especially younger kids are not going to handle that well, and they're going to start back talking to the coach with more. The more the back talk the coach, that behavior gets fueled because besides making them run, there's not much they can do about it, or setting them out of game time. So when we're watching that, just try not to fuel that behavior. Don't make student athletes late for practice or wait whenever possible. You can go for games as well. But again, it's just more of a courteous thing. Part of sportsmanship is being courteous to other players, giving them a handshake after the game, being nice to them during the game, and the fact that if you're constantly showing up late for practice, you're making the coach have to wait for practice time. Some circumstances, I understand, you're going to have to do it. There's no way getting around it. But when possible, please show up early for practice. That gives them proper time to warm up. And it's okay to even be waiting for them to end practice. Usually if a coach sitting there, there's a lot of parents waiting around. He or she will try to hurry up practice just a little bit just so the parents can get out of there. We understand you're busy as well. So make sure you're working with the coach as well, or give them a heads up. Quick text, call, say, hey, so-and-so is going to be late for practice, or I had to say late for the meeting. As long as they're aware, that way the coach can say to the student athlete as well, like, I understand what's going on. Your parent explained it to me. Then for games, try to refrain from any hurtful comments towards the refs, players, other coaches, other bystanders. By now, this should be common sense, but that's not always the case. So just anything towards the refs, bad call, keep it inside. Bad language, keep it inside. And then if you want to rant to the coach or something after the fact, by all means. But then it's a one-on-one situation. It's not with a crowd manner that everyone's hearing it. So try to refrain from those. Something a lot of people don't think about is dress in an appropriate manner. Those might sound odd for a sporting event, but this could be anywhere from sexist or racist t-shirts or shirts. Flags sometimes could be out of control. So just no hateful propaganda that you're bringing to the sporting event, and it could help it go a little bit smoother. And then, of course, always show respect towards both teams at the conclusion of the match. Usually this is not much of a case, but games that kind of got out of hand during the match or a big rivalry match, sometimes you get a little out of hand and tempers fuel after the game when they should just kind of keep it there. So make sure if you're sitting by other fans, you're sitting close to the refs or student athletes, just be courteous to that. If they won, give them a nod, head shake, whatever it is, bite your tongue, and walk the other way. This is my main points that I want to cover. So any questions, just let me know. And thank you for sitting by.